What is up, folks? Today is NFL preview and pick times. We got games starting soon. I'm going to start off by talking about Thursday night football and the snowstorm, the Cleveland Browns versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jameis Winston. I forgot the quote that Jameis had about the horses entered the stable or something like that. That was a classic quote. And then Jameis said that and he's been so blessed for the opportunity to play in some snow, some football weather. And Jameis Winston and the Cleveland Browns upset the Pittsburgh Steelers 24-19. So the Browns only have 3 wins this year. They're having a rough year, but they've already beaten the 2 top dogs in their division, the Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. That was a fun game to watch. All of that snow. Russ didn't have a bad game, 21-28, 270 and a touchdown. Didn't understand why they took him off the field in key situations for Justin Fields to screw up, basically. I mean, that last throw at the end, I definitely did not understand that. But the Cleveland Browns, though, Pittsburgh came back from 2-score deficit in the fourth quarter, took the lead, but Jameis still drove the guys down there and got the job done in the end. So Cleveland Browns pulled off the upset there in Huntington Bank Field against the Steelers. So let's talk about the games that's getting ready to kick off now and may already be underway by the time this video comes out in 30 minutes from now. Start off with the 12 o'clock / 1 o'clock Eastern window. You got the Chicago Bears at home, a 3-point underdog to the Minnesota Vikings and Sam Darnold, who sort of steadied the ship after having a few rough games in a row. Vikings, they were 6-0, I believe it was, and then they dropped 2 in a row. They bounced back to win 2 more to go to 8-2. Chicago was very competitive last week against Green Bay. Should have won that game, but like Aaron Rodgers used to always tell Chicago Bears fans, he owns them. I think the franchise of Green Bay owns the Chicago Bears. They've beaten them a lot of times in a row. I think it's 11 to be exact. But I think they're going to be competitive with Minnesota. Again, they got a new offensive coordinator in there. Caleb Williams looked a lot better last week, which he looked rough for about 3-4 week span. So if Caleb Williams plays like he did last week under control and plays well, Bears are going to be in this game. Minnesota's a 3-point favorite here. I don't like 3-point spreads. I always say I don't like 3 7-point spreads, which I'm going to start off with a lot of those. So if you're betting this game at 3 points, I probably would lean towards the Bears. I think they keep it close, but I can see Minnesota winning this game by exactly 3 points. The Detroit Lions, a 7-point favorite. They embarrassed Jacksonville a week ago. They're a 7-point favorite over the Indianapolis Colts, who picked up a good win last week as the Colts defeated the Jets on the road. Obviously, the Jets aren't very good, but a road win nonetheless. And come from behind fashion, Anthony Richardson back in the lineup, looking like he belongs in the lineup. And Detroit's been killing teams. I don't think they kill Indianapolis on the road here, but I think they cover 7 points. I see them winning by 10 points here, maybe 13, maybe a 6-point game, 7-point game, late touchdown, putting it away. And I think Detroit goes to 10-1 going into their Thanksgiving game against the Chicago Bears. All right, next on the docket, we have the New England Patriots against the Miami Dolphins. New England Patriots playing much better ball under Drake May. Drake May actually looks good. They still don't have any weapons. So once they get Drake May some weapons, I think New England's going to be a formidable team. I think they're gonna at least be a contender around 500 type team if they can get Drake May some weapons next year. He looks good. They're going against the Dolphins. Tua is 6-0 all time versus the New England Patriots. Since Tua's been in Miami, the only time the New England Patriots has beaten the Miami Dolphins was when Teddy Bridgewater or Skylar Thompson or one of them started that game a couple years ago. I don't remember which one started that game. I want to say it was Skylar Thompson. It was one of those two started that game, but that was the only game the Patriots won. Dolphins actually beat them in the one game they won earlier this season without Tua. And that game was because the run game popped off in that game. Dolphins ran the ball really well. Actually, Achane was out with a concussion that week, but Mostert ran the ball really well. And then the rookie from Tennessee, Jalen Wright, came in and he ran really well. I think both of those guys had 80-plus yards. The Dolphins ran for around 200 yards in that game and won it 15-10. I expect this to not be a 15-10 game. I think offensively, Miami is going to put up more points, and they have been putting up around 27 points a game since Tua's return, when they only averaged 10 points a game in his 4-game absence. So, but I think Drake May and the Patriots offense is better too. So it's a 7-point spread. I think the Patriots can score 20 points in this game. I don't like 7-point spreads. I would take Miami in the spread. I think it's like 31-20 or something like that in favor of the Dolphins. Next game, the New York Giants minus Daniel Jones, as they released Daniel Jones. He asked for his release after being benched, taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're 6-point favorite on the road. The Buccaneers desperately need to win, and they got their star receiver back this week. So you're looking at a situation here where Tampa Bay, desperate for a win, they're only a game and a half behind Atlanta, so they're not completely out of it. The Falcons, I'll say this, they did sweep Tampa, so that game and a half is effectively bigger than a game and a half because they got swept. Giants coming in, they're starting Tommy DeVito. Tommy DeVito. So, yeah, I didn't say Danny. Tommy DeVito, he started a few games last year, looked good a couple games, and then ran into the Saints, and then, yeah, it was all downhill from there. But in this game, Tampa Bay is more desperate here. I would take Tampa Bay in the 6 points. I don't think they're going to go in here and like brutalize the Giants, but I think Baker Mayfield and the guys, they find a way to win a 7-10 point game here to stay alive against a Giant team that's just basically trying to get the number 1 pick so they can get Shedeur Sanders. Or if I had the number 1 pick, I would go get Cam Ward because I'm not a big Shedeur Sanders fan. Me personally, I'm a Cam Ward fan. I think he's going to be phenomenal. Shedeur Sanders, I think, is going to bring a little too much drama when it comes to his dad saying, hey, if he doesn't go to a certain team, I'm not going to let him go there. We're going to pull an Eli Manning and all of that crap. But I think his dad would let him go to the Giants. I think there's certain places like Carolina, he probably would step in and say, you're not going there. All right, the next game on the docket, 11-point favorite, the Washington Commanders at home against the Dallas Struggle Bus City Cowboys. Cowboys look like one of the worst, maybe the worst team in the league right now. Cooper Rush running the show. Dak's not coming back this season. They have 0 run game. The defense has been okay at best. Washington Commanders have lost 2 straight after a 7-2 start. This is a perfect get-right game for the Commanders to get back on track and win this game by at least 2 scores. Jaden Daniels has been slowed down a little bit the last 2 weeks compared to the great start he had, but this is a bounce-back game, and I expect them to win this game by more than 11 points. Kansas City Chiefs lost their first game of the year last year at the Buffalo Bills. They come in now with a 9-1 record, and they're visiting the Carolina Panthers. 3-7 on the year, but a 2-game win streak. That's a big deal for Carolina, a 2-game win streak. Bryce Young's actually playing a lot better since coming back into the lineup. Kansas City is going to win this game. Kansas City never covers. They rarely ever cover. So I don't think they're going to cover this game 10.5. I think they win this game by 10 points or less. I can see them winning this game 30-20. Probably not that many points. I'm probably going overboard with the 30. I think more like 24-14, maybe 27-17, but I think the Chiefs don't cover, but they win. The last game in this 12 o'clock/1 o'clock window, the Tennessee 2-8 Titans, who've been unlucky. They've had a lot of opportunities. They could easily be 5-5, taking on the Houston Texans at 7-4. The Texans are at home, and they're an 8-point favorite. And I believe the Houston Texans are actually going to be wearing the Houston Oilers jerseys in this game. Scratch that. Forget I said that. It's the other way around. The Tennessee Titans are actually wearing Houston Oilers jerseys against the Tennessee Titans. I'd like to edit that out, but I'm not going to edit it. So anyway, the Tennessee Titans playing the Houston Texans here, and the Texans are an 8-point favorite here against the Tennessee Titans. And I like the Texans to cover this spread. I think this is the type of game that could be a 3-point game and then sort of pull away late in this game. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I was actually right the first time. The Houston Texans, I'm I'm confusing myself. The Houston Texans still own the right to the Houston Oilers. So the Houston Texans are going to be wearing the Houston Oilers jerseys against the Tennessee Titans. So, yeah, I'm confusing myself here, but that is right. They are going to be wearing the Houston Oilers jerseys against the Tennessee Titans. I don't know. They're 8-point favorite. I like Houston in this game to cover. The Raiders versus the Denver Broncos. The Raiders are a 5.5-point underdog at home against the Denver Broncos. The Broncos will win this game, but I can see this game going closer than 5.5. Brock Bowers is a monster. All you got to do is just ask my team, the Dolphins, last week. He killed us. Even though we won the game, he still lit us up. He had 13 catches. I expect him to do similar against the Broncos, but Broncos have a good defense. They'll hold them at bay enough, and the Broncos will win this game. 5.5, I'm still on the fence about because I think it could be closer than that. But Broncos look good lately, man. Bo Nix killed it. They had no problem with my boy Kirk O'Chains in Atlanta. I think that was the first game Kirk Cousins didn't throw a touchdown in a long time. So defense looks good. Bo Nix and the offense looks good. I'm on the fence about this. I probably would. Yeah, I'm so on the fence about the 5.5 points though. Just to play one side, I'll go ahead and say Denver covers it. The 49ers take on the Packers with Allen. Brandon Allen is the starting quarterback for the 49ers. And Brock Purdy is out. He's injured. And they go into Lambeau to take on Jordan Love and the Packers. I do like the fact that the 49ers have a physical defense. They can sort of wear down this Packers team because on Thanksgiving Day, my Dolphins come in, and I hope they can wear this Packers offense down some and help us out. I think the Packers going to cover 6 points here. I don't trust the backup quarterback here going into Lambeau Field. I think they beat the 49ers by 10 points. Arizona Cardinals going into Seattle to take on the Seahawks. Cardinals a 1-point favorite on the road. Kyler Murray looks good. James Conner's running the ball really well. Cardinals playing good defense. They're red hot. They're on a 4-game heater. They go on the road against a Seattle team that you don't know what to expect out of Geno and the guys. 1 week they're good. The next week they're terrible. So it's really a hard game to pick. When you're picking a team like Seattle that's good 1 week and bad the next week, and they're 5-5. So literally, if Seattle comes out and it's good Seattle, they're going to end Arizona's 4-game win streak. If it's bad Seattle, Arizona's just going to run them out of the stadium by 20 points. So it's a hard game to pick, but I'll go ahead and take Arizona just because they're a better team right now. Philadelphia Eagles, Sunday Night Football, 3-point favorite on the road versus the Los Angeles Rams. I like the Rams in this game. I think that Matthew Stafford's going to have a good effort. Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, and those guys, they didn't look good last time in prime time on offense against the Dolphins. They kicked 5 field goals. I think the offense bounces back here in prime time, wins a must-needed game against Nick Sirianni and the Eagles. Definitely take the Rams in the 3 points, and I think they win the game outright. We go to Monday Night Football, the Harbaugh Bowl. We got Coach John Harbaugh and the Ravens coming off a loss last week at 7-4, going on the road against Coach Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers coming off a win last week at 7-3. Surprisingly, Chargers have passed the Ravens in the standings, so now you have the 5 seed, the Chargers versus the 6 seed, the Ravens here. Chargers are at home. We know they don't have much of a home field advantage. Everyone they play at home usually has just as many or more fans as them. I think Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, they get it on track. I don't see them losing 2 straight. I like the Chargers. I think Jim Harbaugh, and he's got these guys going in the right direction. But I'll take the Ravens here. 2.5-point favorite. I think this game's a field goal or 4-point game. It's going to be close, but I'll take the Ravens. So the 6 teams you have on the bye this week are the Falcons, the Buffalo Bills, the Cincinnati Bengals, the New Orleans Saints, the New York Jets, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. So that's your picks for this week. Video is going to be uploading in just a moment. So hopefully I'll get it up before the games kick off. And I hope you enjoy the action today. And remember, as always, it's peace and football. And I'll see y'all later.